But
dude,
I think mainly what is
We'll do really fast, okay? I'll do really fast. I'll summarize Genesis 1.
Yeah, she looks it, yeah.
I think what I was gonna say is what I read, which is like, so we went about Abraham going to Egypt, which I talked about it yesterday, which was crazy, how he just got a bunch of gifts from the king, and the king treated his wife like she could have been a potential wife to the king.
Right.
And then eventually the king just finds out that she is not Abraham's sister, and then try to return her.
Actually, though, but actually he said at the end of it, he said, but actually I didn't lie because she's my half sister. They had the same mother. No, they have the same father, but not the same mother.
That's the explanation why he says that she's not just a wife, but also a sister, right?
Right.
Because they had
his half sister
and the same father. And the 10 chapters, it's basically about Abraham and Sarah, right? And how they have the names Abraham and Sarai, but then eventually they ended up changing their names to
Abraham and Sarah. Right.
And it's interesting how they have lots of wealth as in animals, the sheep, the goats, the cattle, and
silver, gold,
slaves too, right? Which is the other interesting thing. It's basically saying how people had slaves, and even how they offered their slaves to each other as just another piece of tradable item, right?
Yeah.
Like including Sarah offering to Abraham, his wife,
the Egyptian slave girl.
Yeah, well, her slave girl, for her to bear a son from Abraham, right? And
then she got jealous of her.
Well, yeah, and she offers for her to get pregnant, and he has intercourse with her, gets her pregnant, right? Name the kid Ishmael, and then they
then they get sent off because Sarah didn't want them around.
But Sarah that was after she is blessed with a son, which some people visit and they doubt that they're gonna, and that's very famous, how they doubt that they're gonna have children because they're very old, right?
Right. No, don't worry. They laughed because they laughed in front of God because they thought that it was impossible at 90 years old, and yeah.
But then they get blessed with a son, and that son is Isaac, right?
Isaac, right.
And Isaac is supposed to be famous and be king of nations, and give many descendants to his parents. And yes, you're right. And then she gets mad and tells him that he needs to send the girl and the child into the desert, which is like, that's crazy. He just puts them in the donkey and send them away. That other woman is still more powerful enough to push away the people like that, right?
Right.
And I think that's pretty much everything you see, it's about them getting blessed, and there's the whole idea about Sodom and Gomorrah, how he tries to save the people, but I guess he doesn't save anybody.
Right.
And then God makes the covenant with them, which is to bring their son. Oh, and then there is Abraham then being required to sacrifice Isaac, who is taken to the mountain with the servants, and is going to be sacrificed, despite the fact that he was born. It's like this whole idea that he's so faithful to the Lord, even in order to sacrifice his children, right?
Yeah.
But then the angels come down and don't let him sacrifice Isaac.
Yeah.
And then he finds a ram in the bushes wherever they are.
Well, the angels didn't come down. He heard God's voice from heaven.
I think it was the angels who spoke.
No, that the angels was only when the two angels and God came to Sarah, not Sarah, to Abraham. But it wasn't the angels.
They also come to Hagar, right? Who's lost in the desert.
Well, it's more like God, but
and he's gonna be the king, and he says that Ishmael goes back wherever. I think they go back to Egypt, and
Yeah, they
Hagar
were.
gets-
That
Hagar
was all
became
that. But
Egyptian, right?
yeah.
Because they were in Egypt. That's where she may have gotten Hagar as a slave girl, right?
right. You know, yeah. I think the only time though that the angels actually came down were to rescue Lot. But I will
Oh
show
my
you.
God, and Lot. Oh, what a fucking story about Lot.
Him and his daughters, right?
Oh,
That's sick.
oh, that is so sick. You know, like it's like I know that there will be other stories as bad, but that one is already shocking right in the beginning
Yeah.
about him and his daughters, you know, just going up in the mountains, and these women acting like the father is the last man alive and that they need to get him drunk and then rape him, right? It's
that's
not
what
just to sleep with
that's
him.
what happened to
It's not
Noah.
just to sleep with their fathers. They need to get him drunk. So they're pretty much raping and then having incest.
No,
Yeah.
but that's what happened to that's what happened to
Is that what
Noah.
happened
But
to you, Sue? Is that how you were born?
maybe.
Maybe
But you
both.
know,
Fucking.
but Anna, it's just
What, Sue?
so okay. That's what happened to Noah with his second son Ham. While Noah was the first one to plant a vineyard, and then he got drunk on his own grapes, and then his second son Ham saw him naked, and I guess he did him sexual favors while he was passed out drunk.
Oh no.
And then
that's a
when his
suggestion.
and then
That's a but
he
there's
tried to include his older brother and his younger brother Shem and Japheth.
no. The
Yes.
only thing that it says is that they get him drunk, or that he gets drunk and falls asleep naked, and then they see their father naked for the first time.
No,
Like,
but
big
if
fucking
you read
deal.
it closely,
the
Ham.
story was the first son who came in laughed, and the other two slowly.
No,
went
the
back
second
to-
son came in
they
and
got
laughed.
blankets and put it over their father, but the guy who laughed is the one that was cursed. 'Cause he
The
laughed.
second son is Ham. He's the one who did it.
That's
Then
the
he went
point.
out of the tent and he got Japheth and Shem. Japheth is the youngest one. Shem is the oldest one. Shem is the father of the Hebrews.
Yeah.
And
So, Sue,
he
does this
got
help
that.
you hunt for children when you're out and about? You creep.
What he say? Okay, so anyway, Shem. What'd you say?
You heard me, bitch.
I didn't hear you.
I bet you did.
Okay.
Noah offered sacrifice.
All right. So okay. So Shem and Japheth,
Noah was the
Shem and
farmer
Japheth
who first mentioned
were
in the vineyard.
invited into the tent.
Yeah. After he
by-
drank some of the wine, he became
Yeah.
drunk, took off his clothes, and lay naked in his tent. Then Ham, the father of Canaan, saw that his father was naked. He went out and told his two brothers. Then Shem and Japheth took a robe and held it behind them on their shoulder. They walked backward into the tent and covered their father, keeping their face turned away so as not to see him naked.
I'll show you who's naked.
It's like, which kid, especially boy, has never ever seen their father naked? Come on, Tiago.
No, that's no.
What
You know
the
that's your
fuck?
interpretation.
What?
Anna.
Some like planned
Anna.
out race going on? Oh, I could sell this to Vice News, bro. They love this story. They
Anna.
picked that up.
What?
That's the simple
That's it,
reading.
Tiago?
The
Come on,
simple
Tiago.
reading.
Bring it.
It's-
Bring it.
but
don't
if you-
bring it all the time.
If you read it closely,
Dry as fuck, man.
Anna, if you read it closely,
It's okay, Tiago. It's like nothing.
Even after I cooked it.
Nothing.
if you read it, okay. So the first reading says that he saw
Oh, yeah.
his father. He
But
saw
then
his father
Noah
naked.
sobers up and learned what his youngest son had done to
Had
him.
done to him like
Exactly. What? Smell the eye?
he leaves it up to your imagination. They don't want to get graphic, I guess.
Well, that he had told the two brothers that he was naked, so they had to go in there and cover him.
Yeah, because they didn't want to see
You're
their
the one who's a
nakedness.
creep and is making worse stories than the ones about the father that is left with both daughters. Morning to night, back to
Yeah, I
back.
know. So you're fucking creepy now. What sex cult do you belong to?
You should get some
Oh.
munchkin. You should get munchkin.
No, I
might be
like the
overwhelmed
way
by
that she
flavor,
decides.
Take a bite of the munchkin soup.
Anyway,
What
I found the one.
what about the forest? The forest,
Better yet.
the forest.
Get the
No,
munchkin,
I
get
didn't
the
fuck
soup,
the
wipe
king.
the
The
soup
king
on the
didn't give me
munchkin,
this
soup on the
live
munchkin.
girl for you to have
that's a
sex
good idea,
with.
but I was gonna do that
But
with
go
the
ahead.
donut instead, so I
And-
get some
A-
chocolate.
Very
Actually, she
well.
was a
She's
90-year-old
enslaved and
woman.
under your control.
Alright.
Do whatever you want with her.
Just try one. Blueberry.
But
That's the right
Big-
treated
big
Hagar
scoop of-
so
no, no, no.
cruelly that she
you
ran
gotta
away.
wipe the.
okay. Well, it
Oh,
says
it's probably pretty good.
Look, take a big scoop of that.
Uh-huh.
Big scoop.
Be careful with my papers
There you
underneath
go.
that.
Yeah, that's good.
Like,
that's good.
don't drip stuff on my
Now,
papers.
wipe it on that.
Hey,
top
I'm
of
gonna
it.
need the papers on the fucking page.
Uh.
Don't you listen to me.
That's
Sorry.
it. And then eat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
Like
Um,
that.
Yeah. So they said So, but they
Where is that?
then he
Love it.
picked. Abraham built an altar
I think so.
and arranged the wood on it
I need to gain weight.
Tied up his son and placed him on the altar on top of the wood.
Oh
Then
yeah.
he picked up the knife to kill him, but the angel of the Lord, you're right. The angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. We were both right. You said it was the angel, and I said it was from heaven.
He's like,
Oh.
oh, at it again, Jack. I'm like, come on, bro. Relax.
Right. I
Yeah,
stop.
my fucking business, bro. My business.
And
my
that's,
business.
And that's it. And
Right?
that's
Is
it.
that weird?
Oh, the other part is how Sarah dies.
Yes,
You know,
and she was
Abraham
buried.
stayed faithful to
Well,
Sarah.
good. She should die because she's a fucking whore that fucked her father. What a creep, bro.
Not that
She's-
one. Not that one.
Yeah, well, those whoever
But she
did
knew
that's
about the
messed up.
father and the two daughters, who apparently were all by themselves, but Sarah and Abraham were living out there and they knew them, right?
Yes,
She-
they're probably pimping,
Yeah.
they're probably
what it-
pimping that guy
oh,
out, bro. What the
Lot-
fuck?
Lot and
was
his
in
daughters.
Sodom, right? He
Lot
was-
and his daughters, they escaped from Sodom. They hid in the mountains, in the hills. And when they were, I guess, spending some months there, trying to hide from all of the chaos in Gomorrah, the girls probably had a hissy fit because they were two engaged virgins, and the guys didn't want to come. And then
What?
they ended up saying to the dad, like, oh, we need children, so they got him drunk.
You just
They,
film and just
they
gotta
didn't
drink
say
this
anything
too,
to the
right?
dead. They raped their dead.
I know. They said to one another, we need children.
Tell them it always gets better. Like, oh no, it always gets worse before it gets better. The night
But-
is darkest before the dawn. Tell them
Mm.
that the night is darkest before the dawn, but you have to have hope. You know what I mean? That you
Yeah.
come through. I have hope for that, fam. Dude, I'll be in them. I'll be in my prayers. Okay, Steve? 'Cause
Mm.
that's rough.
What?
And then and then she dies, but then he
Yeah.
goes and
Yeah,
talks
we're
to the
talking about
people
death. You want me
of the
involved?
city
Yeah.
and buys her
What'd
a
you say?
burial
A lady
ground
death.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. she
where he
said.
lays
That's
her,
what
right?
she said.
But he was older than her, right?